.5 FM. Tomorrow in Prince George, 164 cyclists from BC and Alberta will push their pedals in the Kris Memorial Fondo. Kris was born and raised in Prince George and rode at provincial, national and international levels. He died very suddenly on January 18th, 2023 at the age of 47. His cause of death later determined to be coronary artery disease, which had gone undiagnosed. A Fondo is a mass participation cycling event for riders of all abilities. And one way of honouring Kris, and raising awareness about heart health. It's being organised by Kris's sister, Kim Brochu. Daybreak's Jason Peters spoke with Kim about the event and started by asking her what the Fondo means to her.
For me, it is truly the best way I can honor my brother. It's been, 2.5 years of grief I never imagined I would ever have to experience in my life. So it's been a very difficult time. But having this Fondo means a lot to me, of course, but our entire family, our mom, Kris's sons, extended family, and friends, of course. It truly is the best way to remember Kris and who he was as, both a person and a cyclist. His achievements in cycling are many, starting right from, the early 90s up until his death. And what set him apart from other competitors, other athletes, was his personality of just being kind, generous, inclusive, and he rode with all heart and no ego.
What do you think of that combination of Kris being so competitive but yet so humble at the same time?
Yeah, again, that's not something you see very often, but that was just his nature. I'm just thinking of the youngest sport that he joined. Oh, he's just a little guy, downhill skiing. He did well. He just had fun. He just never had the ego about him. We were in the tennis club together as young children, and I could never return his serves, and he never made fun of me. He just, offered me suggestions on how I could be a better tennis player, and that evolved to cycling as well. It just wasn't in him to have an ego or to boast about himself or talk about himself.
I understand that this weekend's ride is also going to be about heart health and bringing attention to heart health.
Yes. So our two main goals with the Fondo is to get more community members on bikes. The second being, raising awareness of specifically coronary artery disease in not just athletes, but in the demographic of fit people, fit individuals. Kris died from advanced coronary artery disease, which he didn't know he had, and of course we didn't, so his death was very sudden and unexpected. And, finding out he had this disease, he died while riding his indoor trainer, a blood clot clogged an artery that had a significant amount of narrowing, so he didn't get a second chance. And that, of course, has alerted us as a family of the significance of family history, and as well the prevalence of this disease in athletes. And it's a problem because it isn't being addressed within the heart campaigns that circulate right now. What we hear, and again, what I knew of heart disease, specifically coronary artery disease, is that it's people that smoke, drink excessively, they have a poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, and that's just not the case. It can affect anyone. One thing that was very shocking for me to learn, that the number one cause of sudden cardiac death in male athletes over 35 years of age is coronary artery disease. There's more and more research being done with that demographic, and it's unfortunate because, again, fit people are doing everything right, eating right, exercising, not drinking, not smoking, but yet they still are not immune to this disease. And I guess the frustrating part of it too is that athletes present differently than, the average person, and that they often will not have symptoms or signs until that cardiac event. And sadly, death is usually the first sign of the disease in athletes. So it sheds a light on how we need to look at how we treat athletes when it comes to cardiac health, as well as, tailoring screening programs for athletes so they're caught early, so something, things can be done about the disease. Because if I can spare just one family of the devastation of losing someone, that's all I can hope for. I know we can't change the system, but we can have these conversations, which is, a very important part of the Fondo. It gives us a good platform to talk about the disease and, how to look after yourself, and being your own advocate is so important. And to know you're not, even though you're the fittest, you're at the top of your game, you're not immune to heart disease.
Kim Brochu speaking with Daybreak's Jason Peters about the Kris Yip Memorial Fondo. That's a mass participation cycling event. It's happening tomorrow in Prince George. Starting at 8 a.m., riders will pedal from the downtown east of Prince George with 60-kilometer, 95-kilometer, and 120-kilometer options. The event also raises money for the Kris Yip Memorial Fund, administered by the Prince George Community Foundation. 5.5 minutes now before